Day 1 of making, Day 2 of making, Day 3 of, Day 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, I'm Jolant. This is a compilation of the first 7 episodes of my short series where I make my own resource pack. If you haven't seen them because you think that YouTube shorts cause brain rot, which they do, this is the place to watch them. If you have seen them, don't worry, I'm gonna be jumping in with some commentary that I wasn't able to fit within the 60-second limit of shorts, so there is something for you too. I'm gonna be making these compilations occasionally over like 7 or 14 episodes, so stay tuned for that. And for now, I'm out. Day 1 of making my own resource pack in Minecraft. Today I'll be making every type of wood planks. I start out by sketching out the overall shape of the block. When I'm done, I paint everything gray and then start painting highlights using my sketches guideline. Originally, I wanted to take a more painterly approach, but it didn't really work out, so I changed the art style completely to this more cartoonish Minecrafty style. After establishing the base shape, I detail the highlights and then do the same with shadows. By making corners darker and straights lighter, I achieve a more detailed look, I guess. I mean, it looks nice. Then I fill in the oak color and start playing around with Photoshop layer modes. After some Photoshop doohickey magic, I get this result. Then I just do the same thing to every single wood type in the game, and here's how they look in game. What do you think? I actually quite like it. It looks like all the new Minecraft textures together, well, except for this dark oak, it looks a bit too like chocolate. But overall, I'm quite happy with the result. Tell me in the comments which block I should do next. Alright, say it with me. That video was fucking bad. I don't know why, but it just feels like I lost all of my identity making that one specific video. I sound like every single Minecraft Shorts creator on the website, which is kind of cringe. The music, the weird subtitles that were just kind of awkward and were out of place, all of it kinda cringe. But that was a good start. Now let me show you something cool. So this is the original texture I made for planks. It is far more detailed, has some cooler colors and gradients, and looks like it came off some RPG game. Now, I actually quite like it to this day, but I didn't use it in the final version for a simple reason. These textures look amazing in the context of some small, cozy interior. They just have this perfect amount of detail and contrast that makes them really interesting when you look at them up close. But modern Minecraft builds are massive, they're gigantic, and in their context, it looks too busy, too dark, ugly, really. The new texture tries to facilitate both small and big scale buildings. It tries to fit in line with both ideas of new and old Minecraft. Is it perfect? No, not at all. But as I said, it's a good start. Day 2 of making my own resource pack in Minecraft. Today, we're getting dirty. That's fucking terrible. Why did I say that? As last time, we start out by sketching out the overall shape of the block, and then I start coloring everything in. Yes, last time I did a grayscale texture first, but because dirt doesn't have that much variety, I don't have to do that. Now it looks like the new mud block right now, so I have to tweak it a little, but so far so good. Then I just add some pebbles and the dirt block is done. To create the grass block, I just use Photoshop noise generation, and then I just tweak it a little. For this side, I wanted the grass to go lower because I just like it this way. And then I do some more texturing, making sure to make the lower part of the block darker. It's pretty much the same process for the path block, and now it's time to see how it looks in game. Uh-oh. That looks terrible. Alright, yeah, that's marginally better, I guess. So here's how they'll look in game. What do you think? Did I drop the ball on this one, or did I do well? You can tell me in the comments. You can also tell me which block I should do next. Bye! I did fix the grass texture afterwards. As I said before, it's not really good to have lots of texture on a massive scale. And as far as blocks go, grass is probably the most massive block in the game. You see it everywhere. But that's not what I want to talk about right now. Something else that I said, I think, requires an explanation. Yes, last time I did a grayscale texture first. So what the hell are grayscale textures? Let me explain. To show what I mean, we're gonna draw something, so let's use this dashing fella as a loose reference. Now, first thing first is a sketch. I'm not going to do an exact portrait here, I'm just using him for lighting reference mostly. Now that our quick sketch is complete, we can go several ways about rendering it. Like in traditional painting, I could just jump in with colors like on this one, or I could fill everything in with 50% gray and make a grayscale first. From here I just take lighter grays for lights and darker grays for shadows. That's when our reference comes in handy. We can just copy how light falls on this guy onto our painting. Now of course the question is, why would you do that? Why use grayscale when you can just put everything in color immediately? But look at that, I'm creating a layer above it and painting everything the color I want it to be. And then I'm just playing around with blending modes until it looks right. But that's the cool thing about grayscales. Say I don't like this color, I want him to actually be a redhead. Well, I just paint over the original color and here it is. Changed on the fly. And it works with pretty much all colors I want. Thanks to grayscales, I can change the colors at any point. Another example, say I want his skin tone to be a bit brighter. I can do it easily. Just as simple, I can detail his skin tone. For instance, I can make his forehead brighter because there's more bone there. You also might have noticed that my grayscales aren't exactly gray. They're a bit reddish. The reason for that is because shadows in real life aren't perfectly black. There's lots of bounce light happenings that changes their color ever so slightly. Here I achieve it by using the color balance tool, changing lighter tones to cyan and darker tones to red. This makes the final texture just ever so slightly more natural. You might even not notice it, but I do. Now, this isn't some sort of be-all, end-all technique. It has some issues which it will take too long to talk about them here right now. But it can yield decent results, as you can see. Day 3 of making my own resource pack in Minecraft. Rock and stone, my brothers, cause that's what we're doing today. And I must say, these two gave me lots of trouble. The problem here is that I made like 6 different types of them and they just all look terrible in the game and I have no idea what to do. Like this one, it looks great in Photoshop, but once I put it in the game, it just looks awful and I have to do a new one. And that one looked terrible as well. So I made a new one and another one. And I think the 5th time it was decent. And don't get me started on cobblestone. I spent like, I don't know how much. It all looked wrong and terrible and I hate it still. And here's them in game. The stone looks great. The cobblestone looks awful and I'll have to redo it again. But I'm so tired already. And I've made this cute little hut to showcase all the blocks, but the cobblestone looks terrible and ruins the entire look and I don't know what to do anymore, man. I spent 3.5 hours on these 2 blocks alone. I don't know what to do anymore, man. I don't know. Tell me which block I should do next. Bye. Yes, I have new clothes. It takes more than 1 day to make a video. Surprise, surprise. So, stone and cobblestone were the first big roadblock in this cavalcade of bullshit. And yeah, it was quite humbling to spend 3 hours on 2 what seems to be very basic textures. Now, I could go into detail as to what the problems were and how I solved them, but I actually talk about this in the next short video. Instead, I wanna answer a little question that I've got in the comments. Jak si můžu dělat vlastní resource pack? Now, if you don't speak this unknown Slavic language, don't worry, neither do I. But I speak a known Slavic language, Russian, and they're all the same, so, you know, I still got what he meant. Basically, this guy asks me a question, how to make your own resource pack. It is quite a loaded question, but I'll try to explain it as simply as I can. To make your own resource pack, you need 3 things. You need a template texture pack, a program to make textures in, and lots of time. The template you can easily find on Google. As for the program, it can be anything. Photoshop, GIMP, even like Microsoft Paint, I guess. So you install the template resource pack and you unzip it wherever you need it. Go into the folder and you'll see 3 things. Pack.png is your cover art. You'll see it when you choose a resource pack in game. Pack.macmeta, it's MC meta, but macmeta sounds funnier, is the information of your resource pack, such as description and the version it was made for. It isn't that important, really. Then in asset folder, there's Minecraft folder, there's texture folder, which is all the blocks you need. So let's take brick textures, for instance, and open them in Paint. It isn't the best program, but it's good enough for demonstration. We just mess around a little and save it. Then we copy our resource pack and go to percentage, app data percentage. Then you go to .minecraft, resource packs, and that's where you put it all. And there it is in game. It is highlighted red because I fucked up the macmeta, but it's still working. What a beautiful texture. You don't even need to modify the existing textures. You can make it any size and any file as long as it's divisible by 16. When you're done with your texture, just replace the original one with the one you made and that's it. Once you put it in game, you just press F3+T to reload all texture packs and here it is. So the only problem is time. I can't give you any advice on that. And don't get me started on cobblestone. And the stone looks great, the cobblestone looks awful and I'll have to redo it again, but I'm so tired already. I felt so bad about cobblestone that I couldn't sleep. Luckily enough, I dreamed of a solution. Literally. It came to me in sleep. You see, last time I did cobblestone texture, I tried to keep all the gaps 1 pixel wide. This led to a pretty gritty, realistic texture with lots of weird shapes and bumps that didn't look good. Basically, not Minecrafty enough. This time I allowed myself to have gaps as thick as I want. I like 'em big. I like 'em chunky. This allowed me to get in better shapes of stones and get a more fluid, Minecrafty, playful texture. I also made bedrock texture out of stone. And here's them in game. I'm way more happy with this result. It actually looks very good. Oh, and also bedrock sometimes makes this wither face, which I didn't plan for, but it's kinda cool. Next one will be netherrack, but you can still tell me what to do after that. Bye! So yeah, the solution was just as simple as that. Make gaps bigger. And the whole thing about me dreaming up the answer is completely true. I had a dream where I remade the cobblestone texture, and I woke up thinking, did I upload the video where I redo the texture? And then I went to my PC and I realized that there is no video where I redo the texture because I didn't redo the texture. Human brain is amazing, isn't it? One thing you can notice in this short is that 60 seconds is really not a lot. Like, I really struggle to fit everything into it. And you'll see more of it in the future, but for now that's the worst that could happen. Day 5 of making my own resource pack in Minecraft. Today we're doing netherrack. Ooh. In my opinion, Mojang did this block dirty in 1.14 texture update. The original texture looks bloody and meaty and you can't even tell what kind of material it is. The new one just looks like red cobblestone, it's not anything. So let's try to find something in between those two, something meaty but also not that. I start with the darkest color and I work my way up with shapes to the lighter tones. Unlike cobblestone, I'm trying to make shapes longer and sharper, which brings a sense of hostility to the entire texture. Then we start developing the tones more, adding more reds and this pinkish white that looks like tendons almost. Then I do the Nilium textures, which is pretty much the same as grass. And now it's time to see it in game. That's way too harsh, I have to redo it. What the fuck? It's so black! So that was weird. Anyway, now it's fixed and that's how it looks. Warped Nilium, I guess, could use a bit of work, but other than that, I'm really happy with the result. This block was suggested by a viewer and you can do the same in the comments right now. Bye! So, at some point, Photoshop just decided that it wants to export everything as a solid black color. Why? I have no fucking clue. Next video. Day 6 of making my own resource pack in Minecraft, Dark Oak Edition. This time we start out with a grayscale texture because I want to reuse it for normal oak as well. Just like good old times, like a week ago or so. You know the deal at this point. I make shadows, I make lights, I develop shadows and lights, and then we add color. Then I modify the texture to make a stripped log texture, then we make the top of the log, and then we start working on the door. We take color from the original plank texture and so on and so on and so on. Then we make the sign, which was really annoying to orient in the short format. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not much you can say about wood. It is quite boring. I can't even make any jokes like, what do you want me to say? It's fucking wood. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you Funky Shoe of Anime PFP for suggesting Dark Oak. And don't forget to comment which texture I should do next. I read all the comments, cause despite having 80,000 subscribers, nobody watches my fucking videos. Let's talk about netherrack a bit more. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of the new texture of netherrack. It's like a red cobblestone, and I don't think it should be like a red cobblestone. Don't get me wrong, the new Minecraft texture update was amazing. The game needed it. In my opinion, for the same reasons that I didn't use that wood plank texture. Because the old textures were too harsh, and the new buildings are too massive. The style, the culture of Minecraft just changed, and the textures need to facilitate that. It's kind of this meta change that happened where we no longer use blocks to display certain materials, but to imply them. You can see this in lots of modern Minecraft builders, like you know, for instance, Hermitcraft folk. They use insane combinations of blocks that you wouldn't think of, because they don't use them as materials, they use them as an implication of something, as an implication of matter. But not all the textures were that well remade. I mean, netherrack is one of them that I just don't understand why they chose it to be like that. Also gravel, but I have my own gripes with gravel since 1.3 change, so that's a long story. Why am I not talking about wood? Because what can you say about wood? It's fucking wood! This is the second time I did this. Sorry. I should probably work better on myself. But it is fucking wood, there's not much you can tell about it. Please say, if you do barrier blocks, I will sub and like all your videos. I will be back in 2 weeks, and if it's not there, I will continue to beg. Alright, why not? So as you might know, barrier doesn't really have a texture, but once you hold the block in hand, you can see it displaying in the world. for obvious reasons. For that reason, it is considered to be an item rather than a block. From here we can do whatever we want. For instance, we could make a cross out of it. Or maybe a more direct message would work better. Perhaps we should do something more positive, like a diamond. Or how about a funny face? We could increase the resolution to make an even funnier face. He's literally me. As a matter of fact, it can be any image as long as it's square. It can be any image, even... Germa is still the barrier texture. I'm gonna leave it forever like that, because I find it really funny how he just pops into the existence whenever you hold the fucking block. Anyway, that was week 1 of making my own resource pack. I didn't expect it to become a gigantic tutorial video, but here we are. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Part 8 soon. I was Jones, everything was made by me, including editing in this fucking devil's program. I hate Vegas. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you for that, 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 fuck you, fuck you, fuck!